Okay. So going on to the matched filter. We're going to discuss about we were discussing about the properties, and we have discussed about the three properties. Board clear ano? Abhijit. Okay. So this is the fourth property. The fourth property suggests that the matched filter operation may be separated into two matching conditions. One is spectral phase matching that produces a desired output peak at a time t, and spectral amplitude matching that gives peaks value at its optimum signal to noise ratio. So the fourth property is that the matched filter operation may be separated into two matching conditions. First one is spectral phase matching condition and spectral amplitude matching conditions. So the spectrum of x of t can be expressed as x of t is nothing but, so the spectrum of x of t can be expressed as x of f. So this x of f is nothing but mod x of f into e raised to j theta of f. That is the spectrum of x of t. The spectrum is nothing but x of f and x of f is nothing but mod x of f e raised to j theta of f, where x of f is the amplitude of the spectrum and theta of f is the phase of the spectrum. This is the phase and this is the amplitude. And the filter is said to be spectral phase matched to the signal x of t. That is this filter, the filter is said to be spectral, that is matched filter is said to be spectral phase matched to the signal x of t if this h of f, which can be written as h of f mod h of f e raised to minus j theta of f minus j 2 pi ft. And when h of f is equal to mod h of f e raised to minus j theta of f minus j 2 pi ft. The output of such filter will be x0 dash of t. It can be written as minus infinity to infinity h of f into x of f into e raised to j 2 pi ft df. So substituting the values of both this in this, we get that it is nothing but x0 of t the value is minus infinity to infinity mod x of f mod h of f into e raised to j 2 pi f of t minus t df. This is the value of or output x0 dash of t. Here the spectral phase matching condition ensures that the spectral component of x0 dash of t add constructively at time t equal to t. That is, it is providing spectral matching. Hence, the output to attain its maximum value, that is, output attains maximum value at x0 dash of t is nothing but less than or equal to x0 dash of t. That is, we are giving the condition t equal to t. So it will be minus infinity to infinity. Here, this t will become t. So t minus t 0. So it will be mod x of f into mod x of h. So for the spectral amplitude matching, the amplitude response h of s is chosen to the shape of the output for best at t equal to t. That is mod h of f is equal to mod x of f. So once again going on to the property. The property 4 says that the matched filter operation may be separated into spectral matching, spectral phase matching, and spectral amplitude matching. And the spectral phase matching that produces desired output at time t. Spectral phase matching that produces at time equal to t. And spectral amplitude matching gives the peak value its optimum signal to noise density ratio. So the spectrum of x of t can be written as x of t is spectrum and x of f, and it was nothing but mod x of f into e raised to j theta of f. Where mod x of f in a quantity, we say that this is the amplitude spectrum and e raised to j theta of f, that the theta of f is the phase spectrum of the signal. And mod h of f, we can write mod h of f is equal to mod h of f into e raised to minus j theta of f minus j 2 pi f t. Then the output of such filter, that is output of this matched filter, x0 dash of t, and it's nothing but h of f into x of f into e raised to j 2 pi f t. So we substitute both the values of mod x of f and mod h of f in this value here. Sorry, x of f and h of f in this value here, x0 dash of t, and we obtain the equation like this. So the spectral phase matching ensures that all spectral component of the output x0 dash of t add constructively at time t equal to t. At time t equal to t, this output add constructively, and hence causing the output to attain its maximum value. That is, this is the maximum value at time t equal to t. So x0 dash of t is nothing less than or equal to x0 dash of that capital T equal to minus infinity to infinity mod x of f into mod h of f. For spectral amplitude matching, the amplitude response, that is mod h of f, is chosen to the shape of the output for best at a signal to noise ratio at t equal to t. So mod h of f, that is the amplitude component. Mod h of f is equal to mod x of f at t equal to t. This is our fourth property. That is about the spectral amplitude matching and about the spectral phase matching of a matched filter. These are the four properties discussed. So this is about the matched filter. We have discussed about the matched filter, and we have also obtained the equation for f chop, that is the impulse response of the matched filter, and we have discussed the four properties of matched filter. Now we are moving on to the next topic, which is nothing but partial signal or partial response signal. Partial response signaling. Before that, so this is also known as control ISI or signal design for partial response, and has the name suggests it's partially we are adding ISI, or we are adding ISI in a controlled manner to get the signal design. So partial response means, as the term suggests, partial, we are adding ISI in a controlled manner. That we have done in, we have a disadvantage in raised to cosine spectrum. So in order to avoid the disadvantages in raised to cosine spectrum, we have gone through the correlative coding. In the correlative coding, we were we were adding ISI in a controlled manner. We were intentionally adding ISI in a controlled manner. So this is nothing but partial response signaling. Here, bandwidth efficiency. This band efficiency is nothing but symbol rate by channel bandwidth. And this is 100% when the symbol rate is equal to channel bandwidth. So symbol rate we can write as 1 by T, and channel bandwidth is nothing but W plus 1 by alpha, where W is the Nyquist bandwidth and 1 plus alpha is the excess bandwidth. W is the Nyquist bandwidth, 1 plus alpha is the excess bandwidth, where alpha, we know that from the raised to cosine spectrum, alpha is the Roloff factor. So 1 by T is nothing but 2 times omega. So this omega and this omega this omega get cancelled. So it will be 2 by 1 plus beta or alpha, which is the Roloff factor. This is the band efficiency or bandwidth efficiency calculation. So maximum bandwidth efficiency can be achieved when beta equal to 0 or alpha equal to 0, which is the Roloff factor. Alpha or beta, we can take anything as a Roloff factor. So here alpha, so maximum bandwidth efficiency occur when alpha equal to 0. That is, it will be a zinc pulse in time domain and a perfect pulse in the frequency domain. So this happens when alpha equal to 0. That is, maximum bandwidth efficiency happen at alpha equal to 0. So the solution, the beta can take values between 0 and 1. And lesser the amount of bandwidth in raised to cosine spectrum, the problem was bandwidth efficiency was less. So when beta is greater than 0, the question is, that is, when beta is greater than 0, can we transmit at 2 omega symbol per second with controlled amount of ISI. Controlled amount of ISI can we transmit at 2 omega symbols per second when beta is greater than 0. So the question is, when beta is greater than 0, can we transmit a symbol at 2 omega symbols per second, and can we transmit a pulse at 2 omega symbols per second with the controlled amount of ISI? This is the question, and answer to this question is yes. We can transmit in the case when beta is greater than 0, we can transmit at a rate of 2 omega symbols per second by with the controlled amount of ISI. Now we will go on to the topic, which is partial signal response, or adding ISI in a controlled manner. So suppose we have designed a band limited signal. To have controlled ISI. Yes, we have designed a band limited signal to have controlled ISI at one instant. We have controlled ISI at one instant. That is, we allow one additional non-zero. That is, we add one additional non-zero values in the sample. We are adding additionally one non-zero value to the sample. So that is x of nt as per the Nyquist criteria. X of nt take, that is sample, we are sampling at x of nt is the we are sampling at a Nyquist criteria. It can take values n equal to 0 to 1 it can take value 1, and elsewhere it can take 0. So then the Fourier series coefficient Zn or Bn can be written as Zn is nothing but x of minus nt. So it can take values t or 0, t in the case when n equal to 0 and minus 1, and 0 in the case elsewhere. Zn is nothing but Fourier series coefficient aana. Zn it's nothing but x of minus nt aana. So it can take the value. Suppose n equal to 0 ആകുമ്പോൾ n minus 1 ആകുമ്പോൾ t യും and 0 elsewhere ആണ്. So z of f എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് nothing but zn into e raised to j 2 pi fmt എന്നാണ്. Which is the for fmt where m tends to minus infinity to infinity. So substituting the value for n, we get that the z of f എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ that bn zn into e raised to j 2 pi ft. 0 ന്റെ കേസിൽ ഇത് e raised to ആ term 0 ആവും. So it will be t plus this is zn is nothing, this z of f is nothing but zn into e raised to minus j 2 pi ft. അപ്പം ആ കേസിൽ 0 ന്റെ കേസിൽ it will become zn. So z ന്റെ value t ആണ്. Then plus as it is the summation term, next we are substituting for minus 1. So it will be t into e raised to minus j 2 pi ft. So we are substituting n equal to minus 1. So this is our z of f. That is nothing but t plus t into e raised to minus j 2 pi ft. So now we will substitute for t. T equal to nothing but 1 by 2 omega ആണ് t. And so therefore we get our x of f. We get x of f can take two values that we are substituting 1 by 2 omega in this. So it will be 1 by 2 omega into 1 plus e raised to minus j omega f by omega. This is in the case where mod f less than omega in the case term and 0 elsewhere in the condition. So we are substituting t equal to 1 by 2 omega in this. So we get our equation like this for x of f. So again simplifying that, we can write x of t or x of f is nothing but 1 by omega into e raised to minus j pi f by 2 omega cos pi f by 2 omega where mod f less than omega and 0 elsewhere. This is nothing but simplification of this. So therefore the x of t namakku ezhudam from this x of f is given by, it's nothing but sinc of 2 omega t plus sinc of 2 omega t minus 1. And this pulse is called as duo-binary signal pulse. So we have designed a band-limited signal to have control ISI at one instant, and we allow an additional sample x of nt, which is sampled under acoustic criteria, and it can take two values, 1 and 0. When n equal to 0, 1 it can take value 1, and elsewhere it can take 0 value. Then we will define the Fourier series coefficient. That x of n is nothing but x of minus nt. And can take two values, so n equal to 0 and n equal to minus 1, it take value t and 0 elsewhere. So by using this equation, we get the z of f, it's nothing but t plus t into e raised to minus j 2 pi ft. And from this z of f, we write x of f is nothing but 1 by 2 omega into 1 plus e raised to minus j pi f by omega, where mod f less than omega in the case and 0 in the elsewhere condition. So this can be simplified to this, which is nothing but x of f is nothing but 1 by omega into e raised to minus j pi f by 2 omega cos pi f by 2 omega. This is the for mod f less than omega and 0 in the elsewhere conditional. And from this x of f, we can get our x of t. X of t this is sinc 2 omega t plus sinc of 2 omega t minus 1. And this x of t is known as duo-binary signal pulse. And now we will define the spectrum for that. So this is our time domain spectrum and the corresponding frequency domain spectrum. Minus omega plus omega mod x of f with this amplitude, and it's nothing but 1 by omega. So it's nothing but 1 by cos pi f by 2 omega. Here we can see that the spectrum, here the spectrum decays smoothly to zero value, which means that physically realizable filter can be designed to the approximate spectrum. Here, this is the time domain spectrum and this is the corresponding frequency domain spectrum. In the frequency domain spectrum, we can see that there is a smooth gradual roll down, or the spectrum decays to zero smoothly, which means that this is physically realizable filter, that is physically realizable filter can be designed to the appropriate physically realizable filter can be designed to the appropriate spectrum. This is about the partial duobinary signal response. Now we'll check the case of modified duobinary case, how we can design our in a ISI in a controlled manner. This was in the case of duobinary, and we have in correlative encoding we have studied about two types, that is duobinary and modified duobinary. So now another possibility is that x of n can take three values: 1, -1, 0. When n equal to -1 in the 1 loop, and n equal to 1 in the -1 loop, and 0 elsewhere conditional. So here the x of t whatever it will be sinc of t plus t by t minus sinc of t minus t by t. Here this is another possibility of adding ISI in a controlled manner. That is, we are additionally adding non-zero samples adding. So x of nt can take three values, that is 1, -1 and 0. So the corresponding x of t will be sinc of t plus t by t and minus sinc of t minus t by t. So the corresponding x of f minus it will be 1 by 2 omega into e raised to j pi f omega f by omega into e raised to minus j pi f by omega, which is in the case of mod f less than omega with a 0 elsewhere condition on. And this can be simplified as j by omega into sinc of pi f by omega where mod f less than omega and 0 elsewhere. So this is the another possibility of adding ISI in a controlled manner or adding non-zero values to the sample. So x of nt can take three sample value, that is 1, -1 and 0. Where therefore our x of t just take this equation, and x of f 1 by 2 omega into e raised to j pi f by omega and e raised to minus j pi f by omega. So this can be also written as j by omega. Simplified version it can be written as minus j omega sinc pi f of omega per mod f less than omega and 0 elsewhere condition. So this pulse is known as, or this pulse is known as modified duobinary signal or modified duobinary signal pulse. And the spectrum of this signal has 0 at f equal to 0. That is, now this is a modified duobinary signal. Now we will discuss about the spectrum of this. The spectrum will be like this. This is the time domain. And this is the modified duobinary signal spectrum, and the spectrum of this signal has 0 at f equal to 0. That is, it has 0 at f equal to 0. That is, and making it suitable for transmission over a channel that does not pass DC. So, as it has a frequency f equal to 0, it can pass, or it is suitable for transmission over a channel that does not pass DC. DC pass the channel, it makes transmission suitable. That is the modified duobinary pulse x of t, which have the spectrum of the signal has at 0 at the frequency f equal to 0, and making it suitable for the transmission over a channel that does not pass DC. And this is about the modified duobinary signaling. Similarly, we can obtain different physically realizable matched filter characteristics by choosing different values for the sample x of nt. So, these sample values, first case 1 and 0 values assumed. Next, modified duobinary case 1 minus 1 0 values assumed. So, by assuming different values or choosing different values for this x of nt, we can obtain different physically realizable filter characteristics. So filter characteristic can be changed, or we can obtain different filter characteristics by choosing different value for this x of nt. So the class of bandwidth for the signal from x of t x of t is general equation. So it will be n tends to minus infinity to infinity x of n by 2 omega into sine of 2 pi omega into t minus n by 2 omega divided by 2 pi omega into t minus n by 2 omega. And the spectra x of f will be, this is a general equation, and spectra of x of f will be 1 by 2 omega summation n tends to minus infinity to infinity x of n by 2 omega into e raised to minus j pi n f by omega, which is in the case of mod f by omega, and 0 when mod f greater than omega. And we call this as partial response. This x of f is nothing but our partial response signal. And when the controlled ISI is purposely introduced by selecting two or more non-zero values from the set X. So here we are controlled ISI we are adding controlled ISI by taking two or more, by introducing or selecting two or more non-zero values from the sample. That is, from this sample we are taking two or more non-zero values. Here two or more non-zero values we are taking, and we are intentionally adding controlled ISI. The resulting signal allow transmission of information symbol at a rate of 2 omega samples per second. So previously our question was, can we transmit at 2 omega samples per second? We transmit our question at the beginning when alpha or beta, which is the role of factor greater than 0 can we transmit symbol at a rate of 2 omega symbols per second. So this resulting signal, it allows transmission of information. So the result which we got from this calculation, the resulting signal allows the transmission of information symbol at a Nyquist rate of 2 omega symbols per second. The answer was for that question was as, and we have found out that resulting signal or the partial response signal or the resulting signal allow transmission of information symbol at a Nyquist rate of 2 omega symbols per second. So this is about our partial signaling response, and partial signaling response, as the name suggests, partial means we are partially adding or intentionally adding ISI in a controlled manner by adding additional non-zero values to the sampled signal. The sampled signal additional non-zero values are 0, -1, 2 or more additional non-zero values choose it. We are adding controlled ISI or intentionally adding ISI. So this increases the bandwidth efficiency, increase AU, and this is about the partial response signal. And important question from this module is that what is matched filter, and we have to derive an expression for the impulse response of a matched filter. And we have first topic, that is to describe a baseband binary data system with a neat diagram, that is a block diagram. And third, explain ideal and practical solution for Nyquist pulse shaping criteria. And the fourth is define ISI and explain in detail the Nyquist criteria for zero ISI. And fourth is briefly explain I diagram. This is our first assignment in this module. And we have sixth question as draw the block diagram of pure binary signaling scheme with and without recorder and explain. And seventh, state and explain the properties of matched filter. So this is properties of a matched filter can be asked as a separate questions. And we also discuss about the problems in duobinary. Problems, and in this topic, the partial response signaling, the state the significance of partial response signaling. So, in case of partial response signaling, we have to discuss about the three, that is for the general partial response in parayana, duobinary in parayana, and modified duobinary response in parayana. When the question is to